And welcome to the Etbu Sportsnet presentation. We are unveiling our top players of all time at Etbu football history in the 20th season of Etbu football. I'm Kenneth the K-Rock Klein, and I'm pleased to be joined by Etbu defensive back Alex Cloudy. Now, in his career, Alex Cloudy played with Etbu from 2009 to 2012, had 128 tackles, intercepted 5 passes, broke up 26 passes, and recovered a fumble. So, Alex, first of all, congratulations on making the list, and welcome to the show.
Hey, extremely honored. Thank you guys for having me.
Absolutely. So, we'll get into your football career in just a moment, but right now, just kind of tell us when you graduated and what exactly your major, or what major was it, and what exactly are you doing right now?
Okay. I graduated from ETBU in the fall of 2013, focused on kinesiology. Right now, I'm currently the co-DC, head basketball and track coach over in Timpson ISD, small town of Timpson, Texas. Man, I have one of the best occupations in the world. Every single day, we get the chance to impact the lives of young men and young women. It doesn't get any better than this.
Yeah, absolutely. I can tell because I've already interviewed a couple of members that are also on the list, and they followed in the footsteps of being coaches or being impacts of men. I guess that's what happens when you go to ETBU. You learn a lot about how to impact other people's lives. So now let's talk about your playing career as well. Obviously, you played there for 4 years as well. What are some of the best playing experiences or some of the best memories that stood out to you throughout your time here?
Man, so many. Like you said, 4 years is a long time, and you get to build a lot of bonds and relationships, and that was a big part of it. My freshman year, the group that we came in with, we called ourselves the U, and we were just a lot of good athletes that we were a little bit cocky, but a lot confident, and just getting to play with those guys and just building those relationships, it meant a lot to me. One memory though. One experience that I never forget is picking off my guy, Scotty Walden, when we went down to Alpine and played his team in Sorrel Ross and getting a couple of interceptions on him. And him coming and leading the program a couple of years later, I'll never let him forget it. Great man.
Yeah, certainly. Of course, Coach Walden, now the interim head coach at Southern Mississippi as well, but definitely
Yes,
a good experience to get a little reminder and that you did intercept a few future ETBU head coach, to say the least. So a great memory there. In your time at ETBU, you were an all ASC selection, playing in one of the best conferences in all of Division III. But the fact that you are now part of this all-time group of the best ETBU players and your position being a defensive back, what does that mean to you when you hear about this? Like, because obviously it's been 20 years and ETBU has produced so many great players as well as great people, but for you to be a part of this list, what does that mean to you?
Like you said, ETBU has produced some great people, especially at defensive back. I remember when I came in, older guys, Day Gerald Hunter is his real name, Victor Flores, we called him Chico. Those guys really took us in and they made us understand that it took a lot of hard work to get where they are. You're not just going to come in here as a freshman and take these positions. So having those guys and supporting you when you're younger, and seeing the talent in you and making you work harder, it means a lot to be on the list with these guys and maybe above some of them. But coming from a small town of Center, Texas, and being able to represent my community and my family, the people who supported me along this entire journey, just means a tremendous amount to me, because you work through so much adversity. People don't talk about all the weight room hours, study hall, people like Miss Hall who's there for you in every single day in every single way. Just so much adversity that young men go through playing college football. And myself, I had a couple of personal issues that I went through, as well as a season-ending knee injury my sophomore year. And it really got to the point where I didn't even know if I was going to play or even wanted to play football anymore. And just having people that supported me and stayed in my corner, it's just fulfilling to see all that hard work and resiliency pay off.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, what does your overall experience at ETBU or that you had at ETBU mean to you, and what impact did it make to you?
Um, it was huge. I tell people to this day, if I go anywhere else, I'm not sure if I graduate college. And that, I mean that with all sincerity, because there's so many things that you can get into as a young adult or young teenager. And ETBU, we did a good job there of staying together. The Christian atmosphere helped a lot. Couldn't get into a lot of things, and more importantly, just building those lifelong friendships with so many amazing guys. Guys that were in my wedding: John Gable, Gavin, eBay, Kwame Spikes, Slim. Just you build friendships that you will last forever, and that's huge.
Absolutely. So let's take me through the mindset of a defensive back. So let's say I'm playing a quarterback, and obviously, because as a defensive back, you're the last line of defense because it's your primary responsibility to prevent any yards after catch and everything. But also just to, if there's an opportunity for you, like if the ball's being thrown in your direction, take me through the mindset. You see the ball coming in your direction, and you like immediately say, "I got to go get it," and then next thing you know, you catch it and try to bring it back. What is that feeling like to have that feeling of knowing that you just intercepted the ball and maybe possibly swing some momentum to your direction? You had five of them in your career, but what does it feel for you, at least in that moment when you have a pick?
Um, Adrenaline is just going. It's a lot of hard work and preparation that goes into moments like that people don't understand. Just watching a lot of film, understanding route concepts and what the opponent is trying to do. And for me, it was an amazing feeling because people didn't try to throw the ball my way my senior year as much because of the junior year that I had. So when they did, I knew every opportunity that I got, I had to take advantage of it. And Coach Brandon helped me out a lot, and he instilled a lot of confidence in me after my junior years. Like, you had a great year, but let's take it up a notch and not just get these interceptions, but try to take it to the house. Try to swing the momentum as much as we can. And that really, that's a feeling that you can't describe. You just got to be out there, and you got to see that ball, and you got to go get it, and you got to make a play.
Yes, sir, indeed. Now, you are currently a high school football coach, so obviously you have a lot of influence on the players that you coach as well, especially when it comes to choosing where they want to go to college. Now, I don't know how much recruiting you do or trying to get your kids to maybe consider looking into ETBU, if any. But if you had the choice, if you had the opportunity, what would you tell these players about ETBU that would make them want to consider playing for them?
Well, I'm very active in our recruiting process. I'm on Twitter often trying to get our young prospects out there. And I've sent and I've told many of our athletes about ETBU. And one of the biggest perks to me was coming from a small high school, and I coach at a small high school now. It's very similar to ETBU. One, because of the class size. You go to a big university, and they just know you as a name and a number. Sometimes not even a name. You go to ETBU, your professors actually build relationships with you. And that's huge for learners like myself who need to be hands-on and need to get a little more tutoring sometimes. And that's a big thing. And that's a big pitch that I sell to our guys. Also, you're young, you're adventurous, you want to try things. And I tell them ETBU, it can keep a lot of young knuckleheads out of more trouble than we need to get into. So those are my two pitches for ETBU, as well as the facilities. I mean, they've done a great job over there upgrading everything. The weight room looks amazing. Turf on the field now. We didn't have all of that. So they're selling themselves as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So the ETBU being a faith-based university, how has God impacted your time there and helping not only with what you're doing as a coach, but also spreading the word?
Like I mentioned earlier, if not for God on my side and my family, that's my motto. I go by three things: faith, family, football. And I changed that football to sports because I coach so many of them. But if not for God and football, I mean, I have no idea where I would be right now. And I definitely would not have graduated college if he wouldn't have pushed me in the direction of ETBU. When I talked to Adam in my interview my senior year, I told him I had multiple offers, opportunities to go to a couple of D1 schools, had a full ride to a D2. But I mean, we don't write our own story. And lucky for me, God had other plans for me and for my life, and he pushed me in the direction of ETBU, and I'm forever grateful for that.
Absolutely. One final question. Of course, we are dealing with some pretty uncertain times, especially not only with the pandemic and everything, but with what's going on around the country as well. Do you have any words of wisdom that you would like to leave for all of our viewers?
If I could leave anything with a lot of people, just be a lifelong learner. A lot of us, we feel like we as humankind, we know everything. We don't know everything. You can always learn something from somebody else. Be open-minded, have a listening ear, and attack these tough conversations with an open mind and an open heart. So invest in yourself and be a lifelong learner.
Absolutely. Well, Coach Cloudy, congratulations for once again being on our all-time Tigers list for D3 or for defensive backs at ETBU, and we wish you all the best in your future.
Thank you so much, man.
That's Alex Cloudy. I'm Kenneth the K-Rock Klein. Join us next time as we will unveil our next all-time Tiger on this list. Stay tuned.